एआई सिर्फ साइंटिफिक क्यूरियोसिटी नहीं है, बिकॉज ऑफ दिस झारखंड एज अ लोकेशन इज वेरी सिस्मिकली स्टेबल। जब हम हाइपर स्केल डाटाबेस की बात कर रहे हैं, लार्ज स्केल डाटा सेंटर्स की बात कर रहे हैं, तो उसके लिए उस लोकेशन की स्टेबिलिटी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंस रखती है, और इसके लिए झारखंड बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट एक लोकेशन हो सकता है। देन अगेन हमारे पास ऑलरेडी एक स्ट्रॉन्ग इंडस्ट्रियल बेस है, माइनिंग, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग। आज से झारखंड को पिछले 2 सेंचुरी में इन्वेस्टमेंट में मेनली उन कारणों के कारण जाना जाता रहा है जो जमीन के नीचे हैं, चाहे वो कोयला हो, लोहा हो, कॉपर हो, यूरेनियम हो। लेकिन अब समय आ गया है कि हम इन सबको डिजिटल कैपेबिलिटी के साथ कंबाइन करें, ताकि हम उस कंपैरेटिव एडवांटेज को लूज ना कर जाएं। तो आगे हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे किस प्रकार से सॉफ्टवेयर इंडस्ट्री से निकल करके एआई को जो रियल वर्ल्ड एप्लीकेशन है उसमें इन्वॉल्व होने के लिए, स्टार्टअप्स को इन्वॉल्व होने के लिए झारखंड एक प्लेटफॉर्म के रूप में उपलब्ध हो सकता है। हमारे पास ऑफ कोर्स एक बहुत अच्छा टैलेंट पूल है। हम वर्ल्ड के काफ़ी अच्छे इंस्टीट्यूशन जो वर्ल्ड रिनोन है, चाहे वो ISM धनबाद हो, XLRI जमशेदपुर हो, IIIT रांची हो, IIM रांची हो, सभी हमारे यहाँ उपलब्ध हैं। देन नाउ एज ऑफ नाउ जो फर्स्ट मूवर एडवांटेज है सारे स्टार्टअप्स के लिए या सारी जो टेक कंपनीज हैं उनके लिए, बिकॉज इन झारखंड गवर्नमेंट इटसेल्फ इज द बिगेस्ट बायर ऑफ एआई, क्योंकि हम लोग गवर्नेंस में बहुत लार्ज स्केल पर इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं। हम लोगों जो 6 बेसिक प्लेटफॉर्म्स देख रहे हैं, आप 6 बेसिक पिलर्स देख रहे हैं गवर्नेंस को, चाहे मजबूत करने के लिए हो, एग्रीकल्चर के लिए हो, हेल्थ केयर के लिए हो, माइनिंग के लिए हो, एजुकेशन के लिए हो, एनवायरनमेंट के लिए हो। ये झारखंड एक बहुत ही यूनिक अपॉर्चुनिटी प्रोवाइड करता है। सारी चीज़ों पर एक एक करके चर्चा करने के बजाय मैं 2 बहुत महत्वपूर्ण एग्जाम्पल आप सभी के सामने रखूंगा। माइनिंग में एआई का रोल बहुत कम अभी तक लिया गया है, मगर माइनिंग में जनरली किसी भी माइनिंग ऑपरेशन में जो रन डाउन टाइम होता है बिकॉज ऑफ फेलियर ऑफ मशीनरी, बिकॉज एट टाइम्स कोल सीम चेंजेस, द कंडीशन चेंजेस, विथ द हेल्प ऑफ एआई अगर हम उसको प्रिवेंटिव प्रेडिक्शन कर सकें कि कौन सी मशीन कितने समय में फेलियर हो सकती है, उसके इन्वेंट्री को अगर ऑप्टिमाइज कर सके, तो इट विल बी ह्यूजली बेनिफिशियल फॉर माइनिंग, विच कैन बी थॉट अबाउट ओनली इन अ माइनिंग रिच स्टेट लाइक झारखंड। सिमिलरली अगर हम एग्रीकल्चर की बात करें, झारखंड है वेरी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपोलॉजी, जहाँ पे लगभग हर 200 मीटर पर जमीन की कंडीशन और क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशन चेंज हो जाती है। मगर सपोज किसी डिस्ट्रिक्ट में किसी पर्टिकुलर लोकेशन पे नाइट्रोजन की कमी है या हमें लाइम ऐड करने की आवश्यकता है, बट एज ऑफ नाउ वी कैन नॉट मेक अ पॉलिसी जिससे हम पूरे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में ये चीज सप्लाई करें, अदरवाइज ये प्रोडक्टिव बढ़ने के बजाय घट सकती है। But with the help of AI, we can do precision farming, which will boost the productivity of agriculture in a huge way. Similarly, in healthcare, we believe that we are signing a major MOU tomorrow. Jharkhand also has very unique disease profiles such as sickle cell. So these are the opportunities in which government itself is investing, government itself is becoming anchor customer, and we invite all of you to participate in it. अगर एआई के लिए डाटा इंपॉर्टेंट है, तो झारखंड में ये डाटा ऑलरेडी ये तैयार है। हमारे पास जो यूडीडीपी प्लेटफॉर्म है, यूनिफाइड डिजिटल डाटा प्लेटफॉर्म, जो पिछले कुछ सालों में तैयार हुआ है, लगभग द एंटायर सिटीजनरी ऑफ झारखंड, पूरे लगभग 3 करोड़ पॉपुलेशन जो है, बिल्कुल रिच डाटा विथ वेरी हाई क्वालिटी वेरीफाइबल डाटा वी ऑलरेडी हैव। सो हमें कोई भी चीज़ बिल्कुल स्क्रैच से बनाने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। पिछले सेशन में सेक्रेटरी मैम के द्वारा एआई पार्क के बारे में चर्चा किया गया। आप लोग जान रहे हैं हमारे पास लगभग 101 एकड़ का कैपिटल सिटी में प्राइम लोकेशन आईटी पार्क है। उसी प्रकार से हम लोग एआई डेडिकेटेड पार्क और डेटा सेंटर पार्क बनाने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं अलग अलग जगहों पर, और उसमें भी आप लोगों का पार्टिसिपेशन एक्सपेक्टेड है। देन एज वी डिस्कस्ड, we already have a lot of talent pool, and additionally हम लोग AI को लेकर के अपने वर्कफोर्स को ट्रेन कर रहे हैं, चाहे वो जो डिजिटल स्किल प्रोग्राम पे हो या जो हमारे स्कूल और कॉलेजेस में जो फैकल्टी है उनकी AI अपस्किलिंग के लिए कर रहे हो। These are द इंसेंटिव जो हम लोगों ने एआई पॉलिसी जिसके बारे में अभी हम लोग चर्चा कर रहे हैं उस पर हम लोग का प्रपोज्ड है, चाहे वो कैपिटल सब्सिडी पे हो, चाहे पावर इंसेंटिव पे हो, एम्प्लॉयमेंट इंसेंटिव पे हो, हर एक के बारे में इंडिविजुअली चर्चा अभी नहीं करूंगा क्योंकि दैट इज एक्सपेक्टेड एज ऑफ नाउ, ये नोटिफाई नहीं हुआ है। बट रेस्ट एश्योर्ड जिस ढंग से माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के मार्गदर्शन में पूरी टीम इस पर वर्क कर रही है, देश में कहीं भी जो इंसेंटिव दिए जाएंगे वी विल नॉट ओनली कम्पीट इट, वी विल बीट देम इन इंसेंटिव्स। देन अगेन हम लोग 4 मेजर सेक्टर पे काम कर रहे हैं जिसमें ग्लोबल कैपेबिलिटी सेंटर है, एआई के लिए स्पेसिफिक लैब एंड रिसर्च सेंटर है, देन वी आर प्लानिंग टू इन्वेस्ट इन अ बिग वे इन डाटा सेंटर्स एंड क्लाउड टेक्नोलॉजीज एंड मेकिंग अस नॉट जस्ट द डाटा सेंटर सफिशिएंट बट ऑल्सो इन अ पोजिशन जिसमें हम डाटा सेंटर हायरिंग के लिए दूसरों को फैसिलिटेट कर सकें। और एंड वी आर प्लानिंग टू डेवलप मेनी सेंटर ऑफ एक्सेलेंस। जो हमारा सक्सेस स्टोरी है, जो अभी तक का जो हमारा एआई के लिए इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर तैयार है, इसमें 6 सक्सेस स्टोरी हम आपके साथ साझा करना चाहेंगे। हमारे पास स्टेट ऑफ आर्ट स्टेट डेटा सेंटर है आज की डेट में, जो कि काफ़ी कैपेबल, बिल्कुल हाई लेवल पे ऑपरेट कर रहा है और गवर्नमेंट के सारे एप्लीकेशंस को सक्सेसफुली इस पे होस्ट किया जा रहा है। देन झारनेट के माध्यम से अभी कुछ कंपनियों के डेलीगेट से जो हमारी चर्चा हो रही थी तो उन्होंने कहा कि अगर डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे सभी जगहों पर डाटा अवेलेबिलिटी, नेटवर्क अवेलेबिलिटी इंश्योर किया जाए तो काफ़ी तेज़ी से इस पे काम किया जा सकता है। आई एम वेरी हैप्पी टू शेयर यू विथ यू नॉट ओनली टू द डिस्ट्रिक्ट बट इन द इवन द रिमोटेस्ट ऑफ ब्लॉक्स ऑफ झारखंड हमारे पास झारनेट के माध्यम से हम लोग वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग कर रहे हैं और हमारी मीटिंग्स लगातार वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग के माध्यम से हो रही है। भारत नेट के माध्यम से बल्कि झारनेट से भी एक कदम और आगे जाते हुए हम लोग विलेज लेवल पे हाई स्पीड बैंडविड्थ प्रोवाइड करने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं, जिसमें कई जगहों पर ये बैंडविड्थ ऑलरेडी फंक्शनल हो चुका है। Then as we discussed, UDDP, Unified Digital Data Platform, we already have, it is functional और ये सिर्फ फंक्शनल ही नहीं बल्कि सारे डिपार्टमेंट को कोऑर्डिनेट करते हुए इससे हम लोग टारगेट बेनिफिशियरी भी आइडेंटिफाई कर रहे हैं एंड विद द हेल्प ऑफ AI hopefully we can take it to another level. And all these beneficiary schemes are being Aadhaar authenticated. पिछले कुछ सालों में माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के मार्गदर्शन में हम लोगों ने सरकार आपके द्वार कार्यक्रम का चलाया है, जिसमें सरकार गांव-गांव जाकर के कैंप करके सभी आवेदन लेती है और उनका निष्पादन करती है, उसको डिस्पोज करती है। मुझे ये बताते हुए बड़ी खुशी हो रही है कि ये सारी चीज़ें बहुत ही हाईली इनेबल्ड टेक्नोलॉजी के थ्रू किया जा रहा है, जिसे हम लोग झार सेवा कहते हैं और इसको हम लोग झार सेवा के माध्यम से ही डिजिटली सारी चीज़ें मॉनिटर कर रहे थे। वी आर शेयरिंग दिस सक्सेस स्टोरीज जस्ट टू टेल यू दैट इन झारखंड वी हैव ऑलरेडी क्रॉस्ड लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन और अब हम लोग AI की तरफ एक नई कहानी प्रारंभ कर रहे हैं। जो हमारा रोड मैप है 2026 से 2031 तक, हम लोगों ने इस 6 ईयर्स के अंदर हम झारखंड को ग्लोबल AI हब बनाने के विजन के साथ वर्क कर रहे हैं, जिसमें 2026 और 2027 में हम लोग जितने भी फाउंडेशन हो सकते हैं, चाहे वो इनिशियल डाटा सेंटर हो, AI के लिए फैसिलिटेशन हो, हमारे IT पार्क, AI पार्क को उसको ढंग से इंश्योर करना हो। फेज 2 में हम लोग इस लार्ज स्केल पे इसको एक्सपेंड करेंगे एंड बाय द टाइम वी रीच 2030 हम लोग टेक्नोलॉजी को एक्सपोर्ट, AI सॉल्यूशंस को एक्सपोर्ट कर पाने की स्थिति में होंगे। इन शॉर्ट हम लोग अगले 5 to 6 ईयर्स में 10,000 प्लस करोड़ के इन्वेस्टमेंट के बारे में हम लोग प्रयासरत हैं, जिसमें वी आर वेरी फोकस्ड ऑन स्टार्टअप्स, क्योंकि कई सारे जो सॉल्यूशंस हैं वो आज तक सोचे ही नहीं गए हैं, बिकॉज AI इटसेल्फ इज अ वेरी न्यू फील्ड, जैसा कि हमने डिस्कस किया माइनिंग में या फिर एग्रीकल्चर में। तो वी आर रियली फोकस्ड, हम चाहते हैं कि स्टार्टअप्स नए नए सॉल्यूशंस लेकर के यहाँ पर आएँ। So before I leave this guys, मैं एक फाइनल थॉट के साथ इस चीज़ को क्लोज करना चाहूँगा। जब भी कोई नई टेक्नोलॉजी आती है, चाहे वो प्रिंटिंग प्रेस हो या इंटरनेट हो या इलेक्ट्रिसिटी हो, देयर इज नॉट जस्ट द फर्स्ट मूवर एडवांटेज। ऐसा सिर्फ ये नहीं है कि जो पहले शुरुआत करते हैं उनको उसका सबसे अधिक डेवलपमेंट का फायदा होता है, बल्कि ये भी है कि उसके कारण वो पूरी टेक्नोलॉजी ही उसी ढंग से सेटअप हो जाती है. जैसे प्रिंटिंग प्रेस अगर यूरोप में शुरू हुआ तो इसके कारण इटली और जर्मनी बहुत लंबे समय तक एकेडमिक हब बन गए. इसी प्रकार से इंटरनेट के बारे में भी है. जिन जगहों ने सॉफ्टवेयर को जल्दी अडॉप्ट किया, आज वो इनोवेशन के हब है. फॉर एआई वी हैव टू एंश्योर कि ये सिर्फ किसी केवल कुछ पॉकेट्स में ही इनोवेशन हब के रूप में ना रह जाए, बल्कि ये पैन इंडिया रिमोटेस्ट एरिया में जो लोग हैं, जो हमारे पॉपुलेशन है, जो लास्ट स्टार्टा में लोग हैं, उनको इसका बेनिफिट मिल सके. और इसके लिए जरूरी है कि हम लोग झारखंड में एक बेहतरीन एआई पॉलिसी लाएं और इसमें आप सभी का सुझाव आमंत्रित है. धन्यवाद.
Thank you very much, sir, for your welcome address and for the context setting.
जेम्स थॉमस प्रेजेंट करेंगे ली एआई से.
आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस आज केवल तकनीकी नवाचार का विषय नहीं रह गया है, and it's no longer a technology of the future. It's transforming governance, healthcare, education, agriculture, industry, and public service delivery today. So now in this session, I would like to invite Mr. James Thomas, Chief AI Officer, Lay AI, for your address, sir. Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, and apologies. This will be in completely English because I speak no Hindi. So look, thank you very much for inviting us here today. I want to talk about the opportunity for government across the AI space. I think the key point is that government is ultimately the largest processor of information in any economy. The amount of information that's collected from citizens, the amount of information that's processed on a day-to-day basis is enormous. Generative AI in the last few years is now able to read, provide intelligence and layer over that information. And for the first time, the state can begin to serve its citizens proactively at scale without needing to add additional headcount. Jharkhand already has the rails, as it says on the slide, to do this. And I think the biggest beneficiary of this technology wave outside of private industry is going to be the citizens of each state across India. So what does this actually look like? Well, if we, hold on, let me just, there we go. The success metric isn't the systems deployed. It's actually the outcomes that citizens actually feel in their day-to-day lives. So it's the days to resolve a grievance. It's entitlements reaching families unprompted, districts converging on best performance around a whole range of metrics. And it's taking action versus just reporting. So in terms of what every department must deliver in this AI-enabled world, it's that every single activity, every single interaction with government will feel proactive and real to that person in a way that's far more personalized than it does today. The other piece is around benchmarking and prioritization. So being able to directly compare different districts across the state, looking at how performance is monitored, managed, maintained, where there are weaknesses, and then actively and proactively recognizing that and then fixing any issues. And ultimately identifying where results are lagging. And ultimately this is about AI working hand in hand with government. So humans remain in the loop. Officers still are making those decisions that are the most important decisions within any process. So AI may well draft, it may well triage and bring data and synthesize information from multiple systems, but ultimately it's still humans in the loop that we're making those decisions. So how does this actually work? So for the last 5-6 years, almost every private organization has deployed chatbots and productivity tooling, Microsoft Copilot, ChatGPT, Google Gemini. These systems ultimately interact with people on a reactive basis. So I'm sure we all use them on a day-to-day. Where AI governance and where governance around AI systems for the states is moving to is not a chatbot that sits on top of data that you interact with, but it's actually an operating architecture that sits and layers across all of these systems of records and becomes the reasoning system on which that's built. So you start at that layer of system of records. This is integrating with existing state data centers. I didn't quite know what was being talked about. The slide was in English, so I could see that obviously there's been a lot of discussion around kind of the infrastructure that already exists, Jharkhand, and the data centers that already exist within the state. Being able to build on that unified data layer and that data lake, leveraging standard APIs, increasingly MCP servers, to be able to take AI-ready data and then synthesize and reason over it. But over the top of that, fundamentally, you need something called a system of orchestration. So this is where multiple AI agents operate within an ecosystem together to solve for any particular citizen need, issue, demand, requirement. So this is about taking information, drafting orders, chasing actions, actively interacting with citizens across the state. And as I said before, all of this is underpinned by humans remaining in the loop, making the fundamental decisions to drive better outcomes for citizens. So how does this work? So these are some lessons that we found as we've interacted with over 400 enterprises across the world, and actually started deploying some of these systems into household names. We still think that domain depth beats these generic tools. A model needs to understand the context under which it's operating. That can only come from subject matter expertise that is baked into this orchestration layer from day one. The second piece is that you have to measure outcomes, not activity. So again, I think an awful lot of organizations, and you can see it in the press right now, are suffering from huge token costs, and people are starting to wonder, is AI actually delivering ROI on investment? And the answer is it is, for organizations that are looking at the outcome and driving towards outcome rather than activity. So just giving productivity tooling to everyone is not going to ultimately drive the right outcome, especially in the context of government and states. So this is around, how does it feel for a citizen? How does it impact their day-to-day lives, and how can AI actually resolve some of the issues that they are raising as part of this process? Adoption is critical. Adoption you need to embed this within the day-to-day activities of citizens, but also the people who are responding and acting as those humans in the loop. Data, I think, was on one of the other slides that was just shown actually in the previous presentation. You know, data is the new oil, and it has been the new oil for the last sort of 5 to 10 years. But especially with AI, if the data is not in the right place, it's not in the right format, you need to have that there before you can begin to truly leverage the full advantages that AI can provide. So it's not just about leveraging the latest and greatest models from OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Microsoft. It's about ensuring that data readiness remains core at the actual deployment of any system. And then finally, it's commitment. And this isn't trying to run small POCs, it's about doing this at scale. Proof of concepts tend to stall. They're very good in isolation. You can very quickly prove out value of AI with a small use case that you deploy within a single department. But where you actually begin to drive real value is where you're beginning to do this at much larger scale across either enterprises, government, and across ultimately citizens. So there's a quote here, AI programs do not fail on the models, they fail on data adoption and follow through. And this is key whether it's private sector or public sector. So these are some of the lessons that we've seen from overseas. So we have people based out in fact, almost all of these areas. Within Dubai, Dubai is the first country in the UAE, the first country to actually appoint an AI minister back in 2017. So appointed effectively another chief AI officer across government entities to actually monitor, maintain, and drive the adoption of AI across all government services. And for anyone who's been to Dubai, you can see it in the way that citizens interact with their systems. It's very straightforward to be able to get a driver's license, raise a complaint, pay traffic fines, whatever it might be. Saudi Arabia, so the SDAIA fuses together National Data Authority and the AI Authority to create a single empowered body to deploy AI across government and for the benefit of its citizens. In Singapore, you can already see there's a number of AI flagship projects that have been launched, and increasingly this is not about scattered pilots, this is trying to bring a cohesive approach across the entire government of Singapore to the citizens that ultimately will benefit from it. And then finally in Estonia. So again, these are all areas around the world which are actively pushing and doing exactly what we've been talking about over the last sort of like 3, 4, 5 hours, and ultimately for the benefit of the citizens, leveraging AI to kind of provide a better outcome. So in the first 100 days, we think we need to stand up the mission. You pick 3 lighthouse deployments that are not just small isolated proof of concepts, and then you engage and you build on it. And on that note, it's a short presentation. I will pass back, but thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, sir, for your gracious words. Joining us virtually, we are honored to welcome Shri Prikhar Jain, IS CEO RTGS, Andhra Pradesh, who is connected with us through video conference. Sir, a very warm welcome to you. Sir, your voice is not audible. So you are still not audible to us. No, sir. Okay, so next may I invite Mr. Sachin Punyani, Head Deep Tech Services, AWS, Amazon Web Services. I welcome you on the stage, sir, please.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I believe all of you have used GenAI one way or the other. I don't think anyone in this room is there nobody in this room who has not used GenAI so far, the way it has spread. But the major question and the major experience and the major learning that we have gathered so far is that how actually it is being adapted. And this is where this all conversation started. So what I'll try to do is I'll just try to show that some of the projects, some of the case studies which actually were working, and try to show that what exactly is the way to use or bring GenAI in daily routine. So just starting with the AWS side. So if you see carefully, there are good number of large government of India or India AI, India stack as we call it, large products which actually are delivered to millions of users in India. Now, if you see these boxes, they all run on AWS. Why I want to highlight this is all of these actually existed even before the GenAI era. COVID, we are talking about COVID or the Arogya Setu as we talk. We all know Arogya Setu, the world's largest vaccination tracking app. Now, after COVID, probably this app, people started using little less. Just happy to share, it's already in news as well. 29th of June, this app has been relaunched with new goals that it is helping people create, the public Indian citizens create their digital profile from the medical documents. Now, if you see, you just upload your doctor's prescription, your other documents, it tries to create everybody's health profile over a period of time. The very first case that the app changed and adopted GenAI features. What I want to highlight here is there are so how GenAI is being adopted. It's not a separate system that we talk about that, okay, leave existing application, start working on a new application, something. No. All processes, all applications that you already have in the system, there will be one or the other friction area. I'll cover some of the case studies. Arogya Setu, we took the example. We can take a couple of more examples as we go. There are multiple case studies. But if you see, there will be one or the other friction area which might be taking time, which could not be done earlier. These apps have gradually adopted. They may have adopted at the, now we use some jargons as well. They might have adopted at the model level, which we all call LLM. Most likely, you've heard all. Or maybe they have adopted at the agentic level. Different scenarios, different stacks, but existing applications improved and started giving better services stuff. This is second one, NIC Meghraj. This is also now on AWS. So NIC already had its own data center, has its own data center, but we know the ask of GenAI, too many GPUs, too many advanced machine learning services, too many agentic services, and the sudden burst of the compute requirement, sudden burst of the storage requirement. Now, this is the exact model that whenever somebody needs beyond what NIC has, this is already in place where you can just explore the cloud services. But why I'm sharing this is that there may be existing applications running in data centers. They suddenly need model access. They suddenly need large GPU access, which cannot be made available. Just sharing because the newer GPUs, the newer advanced chips that we are talking about, which actually help in machine learning, maybe training, maybe inference, they actually require huge heat management, cooling systems. You may be upgrading your data centers, you may be upgrading your setups, but that may take time. But the ask of serving GenAI is now. So you can have the hybrid system setup. So this is also live. So just sharing one more case study. Now, there are so many more apps that are running. I'll share some of the examples. Huge number of applications on AWS. The messaging that I want to give is, GenAI is not about just writing new application from scratch. It is like find the friction areas, improvement areas. Most importantly, you will start observing that some of the processes are getting improved. I take the example here, Portion Tracker. We know Portion Tracker is the app which actually Anganwadi workers and other people are using to track the nutrition being given to women and child. They also track that midday meal, how much quality of the food being given at the midday meals. Now, the POC and the process that we are discussing, in fact, small POC done, next step we are moving ahead, is people so far at the Anganwadi setup, they were just adding in the form, in the app, through different classical digitization way, adding the information. Now, what POC that we tried to do was that can we take the photo of a kid taking the meal, that person might be taking the meal in the northern part of the country, eastern part of the country, and they have their own meal. Somebody is taking southern dosa, in north, somebody is taking maybe a roti or dal. Can we identify from that image that what level of nutrition is being given automatically? Now, this actually adds value. I share one more example. I can't take the name of the organization. There is one organization which actually has huge number of human inspectors who inspect different parts across the country. Now the challenge is they do the inspection, they submit their report, but the problem is these reports are read maybe in 2 months, 3 months time when something has gone wrong, some problem has occurred in some equipment or somewhere. a small GenAI process was adopted that as soon as this report goes up, it is processed by the GenAI, proper KPI, proper information is extracted, and now dashboard is there. The gold mine, the data that we are talking about, data is the oil, data is the gold, that already existed but somehow could not be utilized. But with this just small GenAI process, now see how much cost can they save. So I'm just trying to share some of these examples here. I take some of the large portion tracker. I've taken already an example, so just skipping. And the scale at which it is helping, I'm just sharing some numbers. Then NHA, Chandan sir was also talking about that, can we find out the anomalies? We know that so many insurance requests go to NHA. There are frauds, they need to detect the fraud. But the challenge is that how can you detect the fraud? Because something is written in the doctor's prescription, something is in the discharge summary, something is in the pathological report. Can we scan all those and find out whatever is being claimed, is it really possible or not? There are many cases. So those kind of fraud detection systems have already been in place for some of the frauds and gradually being improved. So I'm just sharing the use cases. Then a common scenario that we all face if we go to hospital, all of us have faced one way or the other. Doctor has written the discharge summary. Now it goes to billing for the insurance. Now there is a process that might take 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, because it's a multi-organization setup, and we are waiting that once the approval comes from the insurance body, and then only we'll get our patient discharged. Now this automatic claim adjudication, as we say, many organizations have implemented. NHE is also in the process of implementing for some of the processes. That 4-hour time or 5-hour or 3-hour time can be reduced to maybe a 1 hour or so. So see those friction areas. So I'm just sharing some of the examples here. DigiLocker, again, as the documents are being uploaded, can information be fulfilled and all those stuff. DigiYatra we have seen. So DigiYatra, we remember, started with just an idea, and now we see that it at that time, I remember when first it was discussed, it appeared like a moonshot. But now we know that how frequently are we using it. So GenAI, so I'm just sharing some of the examples. Now if we look from that standpoint, digitization at the Jharkhand, we know we have the data points. We have different areas. I just share on the mineral side as well, because we are talking about India's mineral wealth. There is one more case study where in one of the mines, coal is extracted. How will you measure or how will you estimate that how much of the coal is extracted? Already there are solutions which we know running on AWS, where coal is extracted, heaps are created, then with drones the images are taken and the total volume is estimated automatically. Just see, and how much cost has it reduced, because you are not taking it on a weighing machine, you are not doing some kind of transportation unnecessary and loss of minerals in between. So there may be huge number of case studies or areas there. Now, what we propose here is I'll just quickly see. If you see carefully, all these things require GenAI, LLM agents at the back. And if you look at all case studies that we are talking about, all departments, so we propose that a COE or the capacity or the competency at the state level. If you say that, okay, one department, one application being implemented, then second department separately implementing, everyone will be reinventing the wheel. So if we have a state level COE, because we know that eventually all of the or most of the applications will leverage AI in one way or the other, so that actually brings the pace. So that's the idea. Now we can think, and this also brings the interconnectivity, because we got the idea of the claim adjudication, because there are multiple departments actually which actually engage in that claim adjudication pipeline. So the AI policy goals that we are talking about, this state level COE actually creates the opportunity for better citizen services, for startup incubation. So it aligns with the goals that the state is trying to set. So, and we also suggest, like, it's a proposal, the thought process, that let it be in stages, because we cannot go again and achieve. So let there be low hanging use cases in different applications. Most important aspect, because when we say that data is the oil, at multiple places in the applications, data is already there. Applications are ready. Only thing missing is the thought process, because we just need to know. The messaging again is like, we are proposing like 3 different ways, and that can be achieved in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years time. But at ages, what are the use cases that can be achieved early? What are the use cases that might need some base to be developed? So that's how we propose. And overall, all these points, as we say, in all these applications, just taking some of the names, logos, we cannot use in this slide because we do not have officially permission of using the logos, but AWS is already impaneled in India AI, and many model training companies have started or have trained and released their models on AWS. We can't take the name because officially we have not taken the permissions for using the logo. So point here is the stack being the infra for the model, the stack being the agent, stack being the ready application, the stack is full. I deliberately do not want to get onto the technical stage, but just wanted to give the case studies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Joining us virtually, we are honored to welcome Shri Prakhar Jain, ISCO RTGS, Andhra Pradesh, who is connected with us through video conference. Sir, a very warm welcome to you.
Good afternoon, all. I hope I'm audible this thing. Am I audible this thing?
Yes, sir.
Right. Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Prakhar Jain. I'm CEO of Real Time Governance Society, Government of Andhra Pradesh. I thank the Government of Jharkhand for extending the invitation. Just to set some context to what I'll be speaking about, at RTGS, at Real Time Governance Society, we basically try to utilize data, we basically try to integrate data and make sure that decisions are driven based upon data and enabling the other government departments on how they can utilize or they can incorporate or enable deep tech, including AI, in their existing workflows, in their existing processes. I confess I'm not really sure what has been covered so far and what has not been. So I have a small presentation. I'll be touching on what AI in governance looks like from our perspective. What is it that we do here? So if I may be allowed to share my screen, I just have a small presentation. Is this screen visible, please? Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is visible.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. So what I'll be talking about is how do we at Government of Andhra Pradesh look at AI-enabled governance stack? What is the thought process which drives all of it? What is the foundation layer to it? The 6 pillars that we feel that we have identified to be important, working along with the India AI mission, working along with partners in industry and academia. Some things that we think are easy to adopt, and then what does the roadmap usually looks like. So for AI-enabled governance strategy, the basic fundamental thinking starts at the 3 items. What is it that every citizen needs from the government? Basically, there are 3 things. One is information. A citizen wants to understand what is a process for applying for a scheme. Information symmetry is something that a citizen desires from the government. Second is to avail services. So once a citizen has the information on how is it that he or she can apply for services, now the next logical step is to apply for those services. And third is the unmet services, unmet information delivery turns into a grievance. So they need a channel wherein they can put up their grievance, which can then be resolved. So any AI strategy, any inclusion of AI in governance, any enabling of AI in government has to be judged against these 3 things. What is it that we are trying to solve? Are we trying to solve the information asymmetry available? Are we trying to make service delivery more easy, more accessible to the citizen, or are we looking at solving the grievances correctly and more properly? So for Jharkhand, what probably becomes an important point is the fact that there's a large tribal population which will be benefited by a lot if the process is simplified, if there are not too many hurdles. A mining and forest economy, a huge thriving mining and forest economy. The disasters are anyways a pattern which is there. across the country, and there might be some terrain things. So with that in mind, the 6 pillars which will form part of any AI governance stack is, one is the institutional foundation. So there in a democracy, in an economy of our scale, it's not really easy to derive or to drive the AI governance, AI enabled governance without a strong institutional foundation. So there has to be a cross department body who takes the onus of it, who has the mandate to make sure that this happens. Second is the single source of truth. So data is scattered across different government departments, across different government databases. We have to make sure that everyone is relying upon one single source of truth. So that has to be built. Third is the citizen facing services. All of those are to be present on the channels which citizen already use. And that is where we have to make sure that the foundation application layer sits. Fourth is the situational awareness. Again, this is not really something which has to do a lot with the AI, but because of AI, it's something that is easy to do, that is easy to work with, that is easy to integrate. So with that context, situational awareness, the satellite, the open source data, the sensor intelligence becomes important. Then fifth is the innovation ecosystem. So nothing really happens if there's not a thriving ecosystem driven by government, but having partners from industry, from academia and startups. We have already seen partners from industry having voiced their opinion already. Six is something which only the government can help with. That is to make sure there are clear usage guidelines. India AI has already given certain guidelines, which basically make sure that the DPDP Act, probably some executive committee which works on implementing all of it. And this body should have some clear mandate to enable data sharing across departments. Because once, in our experience, that is probably the most challenging part, making sure that the departments are willing to share their data, making sure that this data is talking to each other. That's really important, and is probably the single most rate determining step in this process. Second is the one source of truth. So garbage in, garbage out. Unless we make sure that the data that we are relying upon is good, that the data that we are relying upon is also being relied upon by all the other government departments, nothing really moves forward. There'll be contradictions, there'll be issues that come out later in the process. So, for example, here at Andhra Pradesh government, we have built a data lake which integrates around 40 departments, 92 HODs, and some 300 odd government databases to derive a single source of truth. Once that is derived, we also issue correctional alerts to different government departments. There are obviously, once we arrive at this data, there are a lot of high value use cases which can be executed without even getting into Gen AI. Third is citizen facing AI services. So there were times when citizens used to come to offices, they would submit their application on pieces of paper. That gave way to IT revolution, wherein we started having all of those portals, common services center. People would come, apply digitally, get some number. The entire process would be done digitally, and the government and the citizen would get that information, get that service. Now is the time when the services to citizen need not really be in silos. So the distinction, the interdepartmental distinction, the terminologies that we use, they should stop mattering to the citizen. Probably an AI agent sitting becomes the face of the government service delivery. The inner complexities of what's the department which gives ration card, what's the department which does the mutation of land records, what's the department which gives me pension. All of those inner complexities can be hidden, masked, and for citizen, what becomes the sole point of interaction is an AI agent which takes care of all the back-end complexities. Then we look at what the data that's already available, the open source satellite data, all of those things, the data that the central government provides through different bodies, IMD, INCOIS, IITM Pune, NRSC, all of these bodies have a wealth of data which they are willing to share. So this forms another layer to the data that we have already collected for the government. Fifth is the AI innovation ecosystem. So we are also working on creating this ecosystem through AI living labs. The basic idea is any AI stack will eventually have 5 layers, bottom line being the infrastructure layer, infrastructure for training and serving AI models, GPU compute. This is the foundation layer, the most important layer. Second is the data AI and middleware. So we have to make sure that all the data sets are available for consumption. We have to make sure that there are middleware tools to basically fine tune or build RAG layer on top of the available models. Then the core AI components, the models which are available in open source, the models which are frontier models, proprietary models, all of those are available. Fifth is the governance and assurance layer. This is important because we can't really make, in today's time, we can't really afford to look at privacy as a matter of choice. It has to be there in the design itself. It has to be there before the final application layer where the solutions are built is made available. So before that, there has to be a governance layer, and final is the application layer where a lot of partners, the startups, the companies can come and start building solutions for the government, for the citizens. So the governance layer has to be there as a matter of design. Then the concept of human in the loop. So even though AI is making huge advancements every single day, we can't really dispense with the role of the final decision maker. That has to be there at every point where a decision has to be made after the process has been executed by inference engine or AI tool. There have to be, again, to comply with DPDP Act, we'll have to make sure that there are strong data privacy safeguards at this layer. There has to be a mechanism so that all the errors which creep up because of us relying upon AI or LLMs are taken care of, and strong emphasis on transparency. These are just some of the sectors that we can start looking at. So if we look at it, since we are already working at AI Living Labs, we have, in our experience, we are currently in the build phase of this strategy. So we have constituted the foundation. The RTGS serves as the foundation. The data lake serves as the data layer. We have done some use cases to understand what evolves. We are currently building up the major part of it, and then we plan to scale it up at a population scale so as to enable maximum number of AI use cases. Again, this is what is the output of our experience so far in Andhra Pradesh. The conclusion in one single slide. The basic idea is to make sure that an AI stack, a well-functioning integrated AI stack, is available for as many innovators as possible with built-in safeguards, with enough connectivity so that the ecosystem thrives. The use cases which come from the government side with that initial spark, they allow others to pick up and then build on top. Of it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Mr. Prakhar Jain, sir, IAS officer, CEO, RTGS, Andhra Pradesh, for your very, very important address. And now it's my privilege to invite a distinguished administrator whose visionary leadership and unwavering commitment to inclusive and technology-driven development continue to inspire transformative governance. दूरदर्शी नेतृत्व, प्रशासनिक अनुभव और विकासोन्मुखी सोच रखने वाले हमारे ऑनरेबल डेवलपमेंट कमिश्नर झारखंड श्री अजय कुमार सिंह सर को मैं आमंत्रित करती हूं आज के इस अवसर पर आपके एड्रेस के लिए. प्लीज वेलकम विद अ बिग हैंड.
मेरे कलीग और सीईओ जैप आईटी, डिस्टिंग्विश्ड guests on the dais and off the dais, domain experts, stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen. सबसे पहले तो मैं आज के स्टेक होल्डर्स कंसल्टेशन आयोजित करने और उसमें बहुत ही अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन करने के लिए मैं आईटी डिपार्टमेंट और उनके पूरे टीम को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं। इन्होंने ड्राफ्ट झारखंड एआई पॉलिसी 2026 के बारे में डिटेल से बताया और यह पॉलिसी यदि देखेंगे तो दिस पॉलिसी इज नॉट merely a blueprint for the economic development of the state. Rather, if you see, it is a vision for social transformation and inclusive growth. और हमारे मुख्यमंत्री जी भी, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने यही कहा कि कोई भी टेक्नोलॉजी होनी चाहिए तो वो इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ के लिए होनी चाहिए, इसमें सबका ग्रोथ हो। एंड हमारे लिए झारखंड का विज़न यही है, विज़न ऑफ झारखंड दैट लीव्स नो वन बिहाइंड, सबको साथ लेके चलना है। एंड हम लोग का जो एआई पॉलिसी है, इफ यू सी द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया पॉलिसी, देन आवर पॉलिसी इज कंप्लीटली अलाइंड विद द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया पॉलिसी एंड ऑल्सो नीति आयोग्स आर्टिकुलेशन ऑफ एआई फॉर ऑल। However, AI for all can become a reality only when we democratize access to AI and ensure that its benefits reach every citizen, irrespective of geography, income, or social background. माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में हमारी यह स्पष्ट सोच है, एआई का उपयोग केवल टेक्नोलॉजी एडॉप्शन के लिए नहीं होना चाहिए, बल्कि गवर्नेंस आउटकम्स, सिटीजन वेलफेयर और इकोनॉमिक प्रोडक्टिविटी को बेहतर बनाने के लिए होना चाहिए। मैं यदि आप 20-25 वर्ष पहले यदि आप देखना चाहते हैं, देखेंगे तो 20-25 वर्ष पहले हम ये इमेजिन नहीं कर सकते थे कि कोई जब माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी और माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी यहाँ पर सिर्फ एक बटन दबाएंगे और हमारे राज्य में एक दूरस्थ जिला चतरा है, चतरा जिला के किसी गांव में कोई व्यक्ति बैठा हुआ है और उस व्यक्ति को ये एसएमएस मिलता हो कि आपके अकाउंट में गवर्नमेंट स्कीम का पैसा पहुंच चुका है। और यही नहीं, पैसा पहुंचने के बाद वो बगल के किराना शॉप में जाता है, वहां से अपने सामान खरीदता है, रोजमर्रा की आवश्यकताओं का सामान खरीदता है और उसको यूपीआई के माध्यम से पेमेंट करता है। ये हम 25 वर्ष पहले परिकल्पना नहीं कर सकते थे, लेकिन ये आज सच्चाई है। आज हम सब लोग देख रहे हैं और ये कर भी रहे हैं। ये द आईटी रिवोल्यूशन हैज अचीव्ड दिस इन लेस देन 20-25 ईयर्स। और आज की आवश्यकता देखिएगा तो आज हम लोग बिना स्मार्टफोन या बिना मोबाइल के एक कदम भी नहीं रखते हैं। यदि हमारे हाथ में 5 मिनट के लिए मोबाइल फोन यदि सिक्योरिटी चेक के समय रख लिया जाता है तो भी मेरा ध्यान उधर ही जाता है कि कहीं मेरा मैसेज या कोई ईमेल, टेक्स्ट तो नहीं आ रहा है, किसी का फोन तो नहीं आ रहा है। आज हमारी ये आवश्यकता बन गई है और रोजमर्रा की आवश्यकताएं हैं। सिर्फ हमारे लिए नहीं, ये यदि देखेंगे तो बच्चों के लिए भी उतना ही है, हर एक आदमी के लिए है। चाहे वो आदमी पढ़ा लिखा हो या अनपढ़ हो, चाहे वो अमीर हो या गरीब हो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है। एंड एआई हैज द पोटेंशियल टू क्रिएट ए सिमिलर ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन। आज हम यहाँ पे खड़े एआई के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन हम सोच नहीं सकते कि आज से 25 साल के बाद किस तरीके का दुनिया होगा। यह कोई इमेजिन नहीं कर सकता है, ना हम कर सकते हैं, ना आप कर सकते हैं। हम आज के हिसाब से कल को देख रहे हैं, कल के हिसाब से परसों को नहीं देख रहे हैं। एंड इसीलिए यदि आप पिछला देखिएगा आईटी रिवोल्यूशन दैट टुक अराउंड 20-25 years, बट चेंजेस आर हैपनिंग वेरी फास्ट। और एआई हो सकता है कि एक डिकेड में पूरा दुनिया को बदल दे। जिस तरीके से हम काम कर रहे हैं, जिस तरीके से सेवाएं दे रहे हैं, या जिस तरीके से हम अपना सोशल लाइफ व्यतीत कर रहे हैं, आने वाले एक डिकेड के अंदर अंदर काफ़ी परिवर्तन हम लोग को देखने को मिल सकता है। एंड हमारा जो ऑब्जेक्टिव है, आवर ऑब्जेक्टिव एज दिस ड्राफ्ट पॉलिसी सेट्स आउट is precisely this: to harness AI to strengthen governance, healthcare, education, agriculture, mining, industry, and public service delivery, so that every citizen gets benefited out of it. Let me illustrate this with some few examples, क्योंकि हम लोग रोज सोशल सेक्टर्स में ही काम करते हैं, रिमोट एरियाज में काम करते हैं। तो I want to quote few examples before you. आप लोग टेक्नोलॉजी से रिलेटेड काम करते हैं, हम लोग सोशल सेक्टर से रिलेटेड काम करते हैं। ये हम लोग देखते हैं कि रोजमर्रा जो हमारे गांव में या रिमोट एरियाज में लोग जो व्यतीत करते हैं जिंदगी, उसका जिंदगी हम कैसे परिवर्तित कर सकते हैं, कैसे बदल सकते हैं। और आप सोच नहीं सकते, आने वाले समय में बहुत जल्द ही यदि कोई भी मान लीजिए रिमोट डिस्ट्रिक्ट है, इमेजिन सुगिया देवी हु लिव्स इन ए रिमोट फॉरेस्ट विलेज in West Singhbhum district, which is one of the remotest district of our state, that her father receives a message informing him that his daughter, who is about to turn 18 years of age, is eligible for benefits under the Maiya Samman Yojana. And this Maiya Samman Yojana is the biggest scheme of our government, and which provides financial assistance every month, financial assistance to the tune of rupees 2,500, who are eligible and between the ages of 18 and 50. And it is also informed that her application form is already pre-filled, and she just has to go before the Anganwadi Sevika. She can authenticate her data, and through Aadhaar sign, an application is automatically forwarded to the competent authority for approval. और ये हैसल फ्री बिल्कुल अप्रूवल हो जाता है, एंड फ्रॉम नेक्स्ट मंथ शी स्टार्ट्स रिसीविंग 2,500 rupees per month. This is what we can do with the help of AI. This is what AI-enabled governance can achieve: proactive, seamless, and entire citizen-centric service delivery, especially for people living in the most remote regions. This is one example. Other example I can quote from the health sector, like we don't have specialist doctors, say, in the remote areas. And in Delhi, the patients have a problem moving to the capital city or the districts which has a specialist. We can consider example like Muhammad Iqbal, a resident of Pakur district, which is another remote district, and he falls ill. Now, medical specialists are not available there. He interacts with the AI-powered health assistant in local language because he does not know the language also. So he just communicates with a chatbot in the Santhali language that advises him to consult a doctor. He visits a nearby telemedicine center where the doctor recommends him an X-ray. Now, the X-ray is conducted at the teleradiology center, and the image is interpreted by the specialist who is sitting in Ranchi and not in the district. The diagnostic report is sent directly to both the doctor and the patient. The doctor issues a digital prescription, as we're talking of, and Iqbal collects medicines from the nearest panchayat pharmacy. This is the kind of life we can imagine about the poor people who are living in the remote areas. AI in healthcare has a potential to improve the accessibility, affordability, and the quality of the healthcare services across the state. The same transformative possibilities exist in education, agriculture, mining industry, urban management, and many other sectors also. And our ultimate objective is simple: to use AI, make life easier, more efficient and more convenient, to improve the ease of living for every citizen. And that is the intent of the government also, to ease of living. AI-enabled governance will create the same ease of living for our citizens. What makes our draft AI policy unique is that it is built not merely on the aspirations, but on the strong foundation of existing work and the infrastructure. Like we have a state data center, and we are in the process of establishing a disaster recovery center in another city. Government data and the scheme-related informations are currently stored in the state and the state NIC data centers. However, much of this data exists in separate silos. Every department has a website, every department has a portal, and every department is stores the data in a separate compartment. So these data do not talk to each other. They can't talk to each other, and that is why we have a difficulty in creating a application software which is based on AI. So the next step obviously is to create a shared data platform that will enable interoperability and facilitate the development of AI applications across all the departments. And we have already begun the work on unified digital data interface. The IT department has already done this exercise. So we have a common format for all kinds of data. We have a personal profile as well as the details related to the government schemes and eligibility for those schemes. In time, such a system will be able to identify beneficiaries entirely of its own. These data will automatically generate what kind of schemes may be given to that person. Equally important, Jharkhand already possesses strong digital infrastructure. हमारे राज्य में ऑलरेडी स्वान है, स्टेट वाइड एरिया नेटवर्क है, ऑप्टिकल फाइबर कनेक्टिविटी है, एंड हर एक ग्राम पंचायत एंड विलेजेस तक ब्रॉडबैंड कनेक्टिविटी भी एग्जिस्ट कर रहा है. दिस कनेक्टिविटी फॉर्म्स द बैकबोन that will make AI-enabled services accessible to every citizen. और मुझे यह बताने में बहुत खुशी होती है कि ये जो हम लोग बात करते हैं डीबीटी की, जो डीबीटी ने पूरे हमारे देश को बदल दिया है, जो स्कीम्स का पूरा चेंज कर दिया है, जो हमारा स्कीम इम्प्लीमेंटेशन का तरीका है, और डीबीटी की शुरुआत झारखंड से ही शुरू हुई थी. जो मनरेगा का पेमेंट शुरू हुआ था वो डीबीटी के माध्यम से, वो हमारे ही राज्य में शुरू हुआ था. और जब भारत सरकार की एआई पॉलिसी भी नहीं आई थी, और हमारे स्टेट की एआई पॉलिसी तो अभी आई नहीं है, उससे पहले 4 साल पहले ही एग्रीकल्चर डिपार्टमेंट ने हमारे स्टेट में ब्लॉकचेन यूज करके सीड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का स्कीम शुरू किया था. और हाल के दिनों में अभी हम लोगों ने हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट has initiated a project to prepare a comprehensive disease profile of the state. And such initiatives can help us understand regional vulnerabilities, identify risk factors, predict outbreaks of communicable disease such as malaria, and guide targeted interventions. IT department ने भी सीएम डैशबोर्ड 2.0 की परिकल्पना की है, जो बिल्कुल AI इनेबल्ड होगा सीएम डैशबोर्ड. उसी प्रकार से हम लोगों ने हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट ने भी एक और प्रोजेक्ट की परिकल्पना की है, जिसमें कि हर एक व्यक्ति का डिजीज प्रोफाइल बनाया जाएगा, और डिजीज प्रोफाइल के बेसिस पे हम लोग उसको रिकमेंड कर पाएंगे किस तरह के लाइफस्टाइल चेंजेस होनी चाहिए, या किस तरीके से आपको आने वाली बीमारियों के लिए तैयार रहना पड़ेगा. अर्बन डेवलपमेंट ने अभी ड्रोन सर्वे के लिए पूरे अर्बन एरियाज में प्रोजेक्ट फ्लोट किया है, जिसके माध्यम से पूरे शहर का वो ड्रोन से सर्वे करेंगे, और सारे जो प्रॉपर्टीज हैं उसका टैक्स का इवैल्यूएशन असेसमेंट करेंगे ड्रोन सर्वे और लिडार सर्वे के बेसिस पे. और उसके माध्यम से बेटर जो हमारा प्लानिंग है, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, वो भी बेटर प्लान हो सकता है। रेवेन्यू डिपार्टमेंट का प्लान है कि हम लोग डेटा एनालिटिक्स कैसे इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं ताकि जो हमारे लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स में डिस्क्रिपेंसीज हैं, जो लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स हमारा प्रॉपर नहीं हो पा रहा है, उसको हम कैसे प्रॉपर कर सकते हैं। ये कई तरह के प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं जो कि हम लोग कर सकते हैं, जो कर भी रहे हैं और आगे हम लोग कर भी सकते हैं। और जैसा कि बताया गया कि भारत सरकार ने अगले 5 वर्षों के लिए 10,000 करोड़ रुपए का प्रोविजन किया है एआई के लिए, और हमारे राज्य में लगभग 1,000 करोड़ रुपए का आईटी डिपार्टमेंट ने एआई के लिए प्रोविजन करके रखा है। लेकिन ये सिर्फ आईटी डिपार्टमेंट का प्रोविजन किया हुआ है। अलग अलग डिपार्टमेंट्स के जब बजट बनते हैं, जो नेक्स्ट ईयर बनेगा उसके आगे हमारे समय में बनेगा, तो इस तरह के हम लोग और भी ज़्यादा प्रोविजन करेंगे बजट में। जैसे जैसे इस क्षेत्र में प्रोग्रेस होगा वैसे वैसे बजटरी प्रोविजंस भी बढ़ेगा ही। यदि आईटी पॉलिसी का एक पार्ट सोशल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन है एंड यूज केसेस हैं, तो दूसरा पार्ट में आप देखिएगा तो आईटी पॉलिसी में इन्वेस्टमेंट की बात करता है, डेटा सेंटर्स, स्टार्टअप्स, ये सब बनाने की बात कर रहे हैं। और इसमें बहुत ही अच्छा इंसेंटिव पॉलिसी है झारखंड सरकार की, जो एक्सप्लेन किया गया। ऑलमोस्ट 30 to 50% जो है कैपिटल सब्सिडी दिया जाएगा यदि आप डेटा सेंटर लगाते हैं और किसी तरह का स्टार्टअप्स खोलते हैं। तो उसमें कैपिटल सब्सिडी के अलावा और भी सब्सिडीज हैं जो कि झारखंड सरकार की तरफ से दिया जाएगा। और बहुत सारे कंपनीज देखे होंगे कि हम लोग के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, पहले से भी काम कर रहे हैं, अलग अलग डिपार्टमेंट्स में काम कर रहे हैं, एआई के क्षेत्र में काम कर रहे हैं। और कल ही हम लोग गूगल के साथ, वाधवानी फाउंडेशन है, और भी बहुत सारे आईटी कंपनीज जिनके साथ हम लोग एमओयू कर रहे हैं, जिनके साथ हमारा कंपनीज के साथ जो है रिश्ता लंबे समय तक चलेगा। आज का जो कार्यक्रम रहा है इसमें 2 तरीके से है। एक तो ये है कि आप गवर्नमेंट का जो हम लोग का प्रोग्राम्स हैं, जो स्कीम्स हैं, इसमें जुड़ सकते हैं, इसमें आ सकते हैं। हमारे जो प्रोजेक्ट्स आने वाले हैं और जो प्रोजेक्ट्स फ्यूचर में हम डिज़ाइन कर रहे हैं, जो आएगा हमारा प्रोजेक्ट्स, उस प्रोजेक्ट्स में आप लोग पार्टिसिपेट कर सकते हैं। दूसरा, यदि आपके पास कोई पायलट प्रोजेक्ट्स हो इस तरह का जो कि सोशल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन और स्टेट के लिए यूजफुल होगा, तो वो प्रोजेक्ट्स के बारे में हमें बता सकते हैं ताकि उस प्रोजेक्ट्स को हम लोग पायलट बेसिस पे अपने स्टेट में हम इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकें, और इसके लिए जो असिस्टेंस हो हम आपको प्रोवाइड कर सकेंगे। और तीसरा ये है, जो इन्वेस्टमेंट करना चाहते हैं स्टार्टअप्स में, और जो आपके डेटा सेंटर्स हैं, क्लाउड सर्विसेज में है, जो अपना इन्वेस्टमेंट करना चाहते हैं, वो आज इस कार्यशाला में अपना विचार दे सकते हैं, बता सकते हैं। ये पॉलिसी सब के लिए है, आप सभी लोगों के लिए है, हम सभी लोगों के लिए है। और ये पॉलिसी है जिसके माध्यम से आप हमसे जुड़ सकते हैं। और जैसा कि माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने बताया कि ये जुड़ाव छोटे समय के लिए नहीं होना चाहिए, कम अंतराल के लिए नहीं होना चाहिए। ये जुड़ाव हम लोग लंबे अंतराल तक चाहते हैं कि आप हमसे जुड़ करके रहें। और कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट, कोई भी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट में जो प्रोजेक्ट चलता है, वो छोटे समय के लिए कभी नहीं होता है। आजकल प्रोजेक्ट जब हम बनाते हैं तो देखते हैं कि कम से कम 5 से 6 वर्षों तक कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट रहेगा और प्रोजेक्ट चलेगा। तो मेरा आपसे यही आग्रह होगा कि आज के इस नेशनल स्टेक होल्डर्स कंसल्टेशन में आप लोग अपना विचार दीजिए, अच्छे विचार दीजिए, और हम लोग के पॉलिसीज़ कैसे बेहतर हो सके, कैसे प्रैक्टिकल हो सके, इम्प्लीमेंटेबल हो सके, इसके बारे में हमने सुझाव दीजिए, ताकि हम लोग ने राज्य ही नहीं बल्कि राज्य से बाहर निकल के इसको एग्जाम्पल साइट किया जाए और पूरे देश में उस तरह के हम लोग प्रोजेक्ट्स को लागू कर सके। धन्यवाद।
Thank you very much, sir, for your address. And now, this is the time for the question and answer round. This session is open to you all. Those who want to ask some questions, then can ask. We have our dignitaries present on the dais. So please, sound system, give mic to them.
Jai Hind. This is Sensei Raj, founder of Vision India 2032, a capacity development and nation building movement. Since it's AI, I also happen to be the national convener for AI and drones and technology and agri and sustainability. I know some of you have shared panel with me. First of all, congratulations to you in opening up so candidly about what Jharkhand needs to be in social transformation at the intersection of technology and, of course, innovation, which I couldn't hear from that. I was invited here for the industry section. I came a day earlier because this is my core passionate area. I'm one of the earliest signatories of ethical and responsible AI in the early 2000s. So this doesn't come as a surprise to me where we are, but we have got a long road and journey to make, and it cannot be done alone. As you rightly pointed out, it's time for collaboration, a strategic collaboration in place at the intersection of the assets, real assets that are bleeding open in our country. 2 cyber attacks. I have with me my good friend, ex-DGP from the Jharkhand cadre, who focuses on cyber. And I think we need to focus on building a pipeline in the country, and especially starting from Jharkhand. Number 2, Jharkhand is one of the richest resource states in the country, but ironically, it is one of the lowest GDPs in the state for that matter, and that's the purpose in which we have come here. Just to give a hint, it is a 7 trillion euro economic blueprint, a socio-economic blueprint. And the AI is an integral component in that. How do we take it from 0 to there is an eventuality. It is not a if, it's only a when and how. And that is why I applaud you guys, in fact, your CMO team, to have organized this. Where my question lies is, can we build on 3 components which are missing? Number 1 is integrity. We can build any systems, we can build any technology, there's no dearth for technological talent in the country, but can we find the integrity within our DNA today and build upon it for generations to come? Number 2 is, we talk great in this country, especially in Delhi. Let's not make this a talk economy. How soon, how accelerated manner in we can implement is my first question. The third remark is collaboration, which I've already addressed before. After this, what task forces can be formed? What projects? If not identified, we could also give proposals to that. And will the state listen to that and implement as well? Is another question. So I'll rest with these words and again applaud for this particular great step to be taken in taking Jharkhand to the next, which can become the model state for the country. Thank you. Jai Hind. Your remarks, please, if you have.
I will mainly focus on your question number 2, in which you have said, you have asked how soon we can start, right? Regarding the collaboration or...
Not start, implement.
I think the implementation journey has already begun in Jharkhand, and as I had shared, if you were there in that presentation, we have had 6 major success stories in terms of digital transformation. We have just started taking the AI leap. We are going to introduce e-office, making complete government work paperless very shortly. Many departments have already incorporated it, and we are very hopeful that within very short term, implementation will go full scale. Thank you. If anyone else would like to share any viewpoint. Yeah, please, someone say, give mic there.
Hi, I am Sanjeev from a tech company. My question is regarding the collaboration. If we propose some kind of a project, so if your experts find some value in it, so are they ready to like support us in terms of being a partner in that, something like that? And how can we go about it, like discussing the project features and what all you want to be implemented? I am basically talking about the grassroots people, education and agriculture specifically.
Yeah, that's very good question. In fact, the mode of collaboration is very clear. See, one agency in Jharkhand is JAP IT, currently, of which I am CEO. This is Jharkhand Agency for Promotion of IT. So you can either go to the department directly and meet secretary or director there and present how it will benefit a department, or you can come to JAP IT and me or the team there. I can evaluate the proposal and send to that department. If the project has some worth, it can get sanctioned. We will move to through the Jharkhand procurement manual, and we can get it done through tender or whatever is.
Because the kind of projects I am talking about, like the government partnership is must for that. Because it's like a welfare project for people.
Of course. In fact, we are hoping for a lot of AI startups in various fields. There are very complex problems at the grassroots levels, even especially in the sector of agriculture that you have talked about. So, for a start, there might be two things that you might be interested in. One is with in collaborating for a long-term project,
Yes,
and another.
It won't be generating revenue for government or the company, but yeah, it will help people generate revenue for themselves.
Yeah.
You see, the one thing is that we have our own requirement. Like we know we are working in the government, so we know what is the requirement of the rural people, maybe in agriculture sector, health or education sector as such. And there are many projects which are in pipeline, as I have already explained that in health sector, education and other sectors also. So one way of doing is, if our requirement is there and obviously that project will be sanctioned and tender will be floated, then you can participate in that tendering process, bid process. And then you will be, if you will be L1, will be selected as a successful bidder. You can work with the government for 5 years or so. And if you think that whatever you are doing in the areas, that project is not in our priority, then you can approach maybe CEO JAP IT or maybe the concerned line departments like agriculture and education. Make them understand about your project, and if need be, you can make a little bit of changes, and then they can sanction that project and then go for tendering process. Because in government, we can't buy anything without involved in the tendering process. That's the thing. So again, we have to invite a tender. If you want to have successful bidder, this is number one. Now I'm again coming to the next thing. If you want to work from the CSR activity fund, like there are many PSUs who are working in Jharkhand or maybe here, they invest into certain NGOs or companies. They will give you the money, you can develop a project, and then you can come to Jharkhand and implement that project. This is other way of doing it.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, sir. I have question in two parts, right here. So, multiple gentlemen on the panel in the morning as well as now spoke about how important data is, or the underlying data is, because we are thinking about building AI systems which are going to directly work on that data, right? So my question is, what kind of data quality framework is put in place to ensure the quality of data is improved? That's the first question. And the second question is, how are you planning to balance innovation with governance? So the two parts of the question.
See, as has been rightly said, for AI, the model is only as good as the data you feed in it. no matter how much changes you make in the model, if data itself is not of good quality, nothing substantial can be achieved. For Jharkhand, the advantageous position that we are in currently is that we have UDTP. And we almost all the data of citizenry, I am speaking only from the government's perspective, the data from government's perspective. So all the citizenry data, along with household, their income, the welfare schemes, everything has been in the stacked manner. And with the collaboration of all the departments, the data is very pure. The error in that data is very low. We are still working on it. In fact, now we are targeting new beneficiaries through that data. We are even identifying which are the target beneficiaries which have not been able to get any scheme's benefit for whatever reason. So that data already is there, and we are improving, we are building on it. We are building databases also. We are specific, very innovative way. We are building capable data center to handle that database itself. So that is one. Your second question was how to balance between governance and innovation. As of now, these are not two counter direction, because whatever innovation comes, especially in the governance sector, if it is not beneficial, that will not take place, that will not take root. Only those which are beneficial to governance, only that kind of innovation will take root. So I don't think, for governance perspective, there will be any contradiction between governance and innovation. Thank you. Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, so I have one question. Hi, I'm Abhinav from Ace Micro. So and great presentation and great vision statement that you have laid down for the state. My question to you is, because every time, let's say you want to build and you have a vision statement, there's always one use case that you would want to start your sort of vision statement with, right? So have we, like at a state level, have you identified that one single use case? Because essentially it's at every department, AI is a top layer on top of which every department can become an independent agent, and those agents can then talk to the conversational interface. So at a department level, have we identified which are the low hanging fruits or the low use cases that we can immediately attack and sort of solve for them?
In some departments, they have identified what are the projects that they want to implement. As I have already explained, urban development has identified certain projects. Education, they have identified. Health department has identified. And then revenue department. And some departments are in the process of doing so. So that may take some time. But the thumb rule is there are several government schemes which we implement. We have to bring innovation in such a way that the implementation of these schemes become hassleless. That is where you have to put your mind. And redesign the scheme in such a way that your innovation, use of AI, everything is there, but the policy of the scheme remains the same. Only the implementation process changes, because technology does not change the policy. They basically implement the policy in a much easier way, much comfortable way, and in a citizen-centric way. That's the way we should think.
Sir.
Okay, time is running out, so one or two questions we can take with the permission of
Sir.
Development Commissioner, sir.
Yeah, sir, first of all, thank you. I am Orunavo, I am from Eastern India. So we are a GIS company, we are having the locational intelligence. So already we are working with the JSAC very closely. And in the urban development company, we are already with whatever the drone survey you are saying that our platform they are using. Sir, in your presentation, you have mentioned that in health, in critical mineral mapping. So how you're planning to use the locational intelligence as along with the data, because you are planning towards AI. So along with that data, if a locational component can be used, locational intelligence can be used, so it could be useful for a more data-driven governance. It could help you for a more decision support system. So in areas like tourism, land records, we're having GeoAI models, then stamp registration, revenue generation. So in those areas, we believe that there are a lot of scope if you build the data with locational intelligence. That's sorry.
See, land record is totally based on the location.
Yes.
Even urban development, if you see the property evaluation,
Yes.
like property taxes, they are levied depending upon the carpet area and the built-up area, everything like that. So it also depends upon the location. In those areas, we are using this. Yes. Already using, I mean, as I've said, the drone survey, they'll use the locations. The land survey, they are not still using, but they have a proposal to use that location. The other way is, we have the facilities in the rural areas, like we have health sub-centers, we have police station, panchayat, etc. We may use that location when it is mapped up on the Google Maps, and etc. as such. The one in the health sector, we are in fact, we have planned to use, still not using that. To
Sir, disease monitoring you can use this platform.
disease surveillance system.
Disease surveillance.
So whenever we have, say, one malaria case has come from a particular village, then it is okay. Suppose 4, 5, 6 malaria case has come from a particular village, then probably we can foresee the outbreak of malaria or outbreak of a disease. Then probably we can concentrate upon those villages, those areas where this outbreak of disease may take place. This is one way of using it. So there are several cases, obviously.
Preventive healthcare system can be generated also.
Last question. So last question.
Namaskar sir, मेरा नाम राना रॉय फ्रॉम साई फ्यूचर वी आर पार्टनरिंग विद जैप IT. हम आपके डाटा सेंटर प्रोवाइडर है. We are looking into the investment of setting up a data center in state, and I am very pleased to attend this seminar wherein your state is interested in and calling the investor into the state. So my question is how state will help us. Like we are looking for a set up a data center in a phased manner of 100 megawatt liquid data center. So how state can help us in giving subsidy something? Is there any plan for that? That is my question to you.
See, as of now, for data center, we are incorporating all those things in the new draft AI policy. As for the other assistance that can be given, we are identifying zones near our STPI, which are already that the IT parks that are existing. So locations near that are being identified, and we are planning to develop data center there. Additionally, we are identifying a huge chunk of 400 acres of land where we will be developing a specified data center which can be upgraded to the quantum level. So in all those things, you are most welcome to join and assist us.
Thank you.
So thank you. Thank you very much to all for this open session, and thanks to Development Commissioner sir and हमारे जितने भी मंच पर अतिथि हैं सभी का धन्यवाद करते हुए this is time to present memento so that you can keep memories of this program. So may I request CEO JAP IT sir Chandan Kumar sir to present memento to Development Commissioner Shri Ajoy Kumar Singh sir. और तालियों की गूंज भी स्मृतियों में बनी रहनी चाहिए. Chhau mask we are presenting. And now may I request Joint Secretary Vishal Deep Khalko sir. मंचासीन हमारे जेम्स थॉमस सर हैं, चीफ AI ऑफिसर ले AI. छाऊ मास्क मंचासीन है मनीष कात्याल सर, हेड सचिन पुन्यानी सर हैं, हेड डीप टेक सर्विसेज अमेजॉन वेब सर्विसेज। थैंक यू सर। एंड और अब धन्यवाद ज्ञापन की बारी है सर।
So as we come to the close of today's National Stakeholders Consultation, it is now my privilege to invite Shri Vishal Deep Kolke, Joint Secretary, IT and E-Governance, Government of Jharkhand, to deliver the vote of thanks. Please. Thank you, sir.
Johar. Honorable Development Commissioner, Sir, Government of Jharkhand, CEO JAP IT, Government of Jharkhand, distinguished dignitaries, esteemed speakers, respected industry leaders, representatives from the government, academia, startups, and the IT ecosystem, ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening to you all. As we come to the conclusion of this National Stakeholders Consultation, it is my proud privilege on behalf of the Government of Jharkhand and the Department of Information Technology and E-Governance to propose the vote of thanks. Today's conclave has been much more than a gathering of stakeholders. It has been a vibrant platform for meaningful dialogue, collaboration, and exchange of ideas that will help shape Jharkhand's digital future. I extend my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Development Commissioner, Sir, for gracing this occasion and for sharing an inspiring vision for the future. Sir, your valuable insights and your address and guidance and words of encouragement have truly enriched this conclave and motivated us to work collectively towards a digitally empowered Jharkhand. I also express my heartfelt appreciation to all our distinguished speakers, panelists, industry experts, and delegates. Thank you for your thought-provoking discussions, practical insights, and valuable recommendations. Your contribution will play a significant role in the strengthening of Jharkhand's journey towards digital governance, technological innovation, and inclusive growth. Our sincere appreciation also goes to our esteemed partners, participating organizations, academic institutions, industry associations, startups, and every stakeholder whose active participation and continued support have made this conclave a resounding success. I would also like to acknowledge the dedicated efforts of the organizing committee, the officers and officials of the Department of Information Technology and E-Governance, Government of Jharkhand, our technical support staff, volunteers, and everyone who worked tirelessly behind the scenes. Your commitment, coordination, and professionalism ensured the smooth and successful conduct of today's event. Also, a special thank you for the friends from the media who are here to cover this event. As we conclude, let us carry forward the spirit of collaboration fostered today. Let us continue working together to building a digitally empowered Jharkhand and contribute meaningfully to the vision of Digital India. Once again, I extend my heartfelt thanks to each one of you for your gracious presence, enthusiastic participation, and continued support. We wish you a safe journey home and look forward to welcoming you again at future initiatives of the Government of Jharkhand. Thank you all very much for your kind presence. Jai Hind, Jai Jharkhand.
Thank you, sir, for your gracious vote. Now, I request you all to please move forward for the tea break. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening and safe journey home. Thank you so much. So you can move just beside the hall for the tea break. And also कल हमारा एक और session है, so I welcome you all for that session. So we'll ensure your presence tomorrow also. We invite you all the guests and all the dignitaries for the tomorrow's session. Thank you.